Alright, I think I'm live. If we can get some yays or nays on the audio, I'd be really appreciative. I'm probably a little quiet, but I'm a little snuffed up, so coming down with a cold, which is fantastic. How's everybody today? I see archsinners here, glowsex here, Mr. Robot. Someone named themselves Google account. That's very creative. We have sound. That's good enough, right? Thank you, Larry. Hello, Cyrus. Let's go, Alex. Hello, Tim. Analytic Minded. We got a full house tonight. That's excellent. Hello, how you doing, Mr. Robot? So I'm going to be installing Herbstluftwm tonight. That's what the plan is. We'll see how that goes. We're going to do it in a VM just so that if I have to restart or log out or log back in, I can do so. I'm hoping that it will do just fine in Ubuntu, but we'll see how that goes. Well, Kubuntu is what we're going to actually be using, but we'll see how, like I said, we'll see how that goes. Just finishing up the, oh, I'm having that stupid Kubuntu problem where it won't go full screen. I'm gonna try, there was a tech up video on how to fix that. We're gonna watch that here for a second. Let me actually, while we're here, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're gonna probably stream for about an hour and a half or so, about usual. So let's open up a browser here. There was a Tech Hut video that I need to watch in order to fix this, because this is what it does. We apply this, it actually does nothing now, but if we change it to this apply, and then it just nopes right back out of that. So it will do the same thing here. So there's a service actually that we need to kill, and Brandon did a video on it. See if I can find it. Here we go. I actually don't even know if the audio will play in the VM or not. I actually don't think I've ever tried to play audio in a VM before. I'm gonna find out. I think it was actually right here.
Do you ever notice when you have KDE Plasma in a virtual machine and you go and try to change the display settings to something a little bit more reasonable, let's say 1080p here, hit apply, and it just snaps back on you? How do you fix that? Well, it's actually a pretty easy fix. We're going to go back here. We're going to search for services within our settings, go to background services, and from here we could go ahead and search for K-Screen. While you're in a virtual machine, we could go ahead and disable this.
Right one. I actually open up services or settings. Why the hell was there a random? There we go. Dear Plasma, when you search for settings, system settings should be right at the top. There we go. And then we're supposed to be able to search from here? Well, I just saw that. It's right here, right? Okay, now. I'm pretty sure somebody's probably screaming at me in chat. Telling me, hey Matt, this is what you do. You don't have to watch a video. But I didn't look at the chat. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Thanks for yelling at me in the chat. I would, if I looked, I would have gotten there sooner. Thanks. But I didn't look. I'll look better. Anyways, all right, so let's go ahead and right here, we got the web set up here and running. Hopefully this will be able to be installed on Ubuntu. I actually don't know. I wonder if it's actually, it may, before we do anything, this is a new install, so apt update and sudo apt upgrade. This is the 20.04 LTS. So yeah, I should have just opened up the settings to begin with. Would have been fun. Or would have been, you know, better, not fun. I can't talk tonight. It's been a horrendously long day. But what are you gonna do? Okay. I do know that I have looked at Herbstluftwm before, but it has been a very long time, like probably close to 2 years since I've actually looked at it. I have it installed on my Arco system, underneath this, but it's the Arco version, and I wanted to kind of take a look at the vanilla version, so that's the reason why we're not doing it from hardware tonight. This was an old ISO too, so it's going to take a bit to update. Yeah, Tech Hut does seem like a nice guy. He follows me on Twitter, which is surprising. I have a few other YouTubers that follow me on Twitter. I'm honestly surprised at how many Linux YouTubers are actually on Twitter. Yeah, to be honest. I absolutely despise peeps. I can't stand them. They're way too sweet for me. Honestly, not a big candy guy at all, to be honest. I mean, it looks like I'm a big candy guy, but I'm not a big candy guy. My vice is pizza. That's my vice. Not candy. It doesn't mean that I won't eat candy, but usually I stay away from it. It's 2 a.m. here. You should go to sleep. Yeah. Or are you listening to me to put you to sleep? Okay. Please restart Firefox running instances. It's nice that Ubuntu warns you to close Firefox. We're actually going to do a whole reboot here. See if it will actually maintain that screen resolution. What kind of pizza? Oh, I like all kinds of pizza. Not anything weird though. So, things like, you know, just the standard meat lovers, except for bacon. I don't like bacon. But pepperoni, ham, and like chicken is good. Pepperoni, ham, and steak. Pepperoni, ham, and sausage, stuff like that. Also, green peppers, onions, mushrooms, stuff like that. Mexican food is good. Although half the stuff that we Americans call Mexican food, not actually Mexican food. It was created here. Mexicans come here like, what are you guys calling this Mexican food for? Yeah, and excellent. It didn't actually. So we're going to go back in here. I'm going to bet we're going to have to kill that service again. And nope, we're not. Okay, good. It's disappointing that it didn't remember it, but that's okay. Oops, that's the wrong one. 1920. What? I always do that. I always choose the wrong 1921. There we go. Okay, good. Now we can close it. Oh, yeah, I don't like pineapple on my pizza. It's not, I like pineapple, but the problem is when I was in high school, I worked at Little Caesars, which is a fairly famous pizza place around the world. And if you have ever cooked ham and pineapple on a pizza, you know that it's not good to cook. So that stuff comes out too soggy for me. It sounds good, but I've never been able to eat it. It's just too soggy. All right, now we can go back up, open up this, and see if it actually remembered. Yeah, that's a snap. That's a snap. You can always tell when Firefox takes just that extra few seconds to load that you're dealing with the snap. It's disappointing. I actually didn't think that, maybe that's not, maybe it's just slow. I thought that one of the Ubuntu flavors doesn't. Nope, Snap's installed yet. Snaps is here. Wonder why it took a little bit longer to open up there. Maybe it was just me noticing it. Also, this one have the snap. This is the 20.04, not 21.04 or 22.04. I don't know what I was thinking there. All right, let's go ahead and get to some documentation here. See if we can find the installation, basic installation. Here we go. So we're gonna open up a terminal, and we'll get things here. I'm gonna actually turn my face off so that nothing's blocking the screen. And I will zoom in here so that everybody can see. All right, so we're going to make directory here. Actually, before we do any of that stuff, we actually have to install the damn thing. Wonder why the basic installation doesn't include on here the get thing. It's not only on the home page. In any case, you also have to install the dependencies beside, but you don't actually list them. That's not very good documentation. You should always prefer installing Herbstluft via your package manager. So I wonder, sudo apt install Herbstluftwm. Oh, it's that's good. Yep. Yes. Kubuntu, my next long-term review. No, my next long-term review is Slackware, and I haven't actually started it yet. So I know there's going to be a guy in the Discord that is disappointed. He was asking me how it's going. I haven't had a chance to install it on hardware yet. Hopefully in the next couple days. It's just real life has just been a pain in the tuchus lately. All right, so Herbstluft is actually installed, which is good. So we can do this, and we can do this. Okay. If there's no package for your system, you can perform for your platform, or you want to use the current get version, you can do it. We don't need to do that now. Configure Herbstluft as your window manager. So, as usual, you can define Herbstluftwm as your window manager by either selecting Herbstluftwm in your login manager, or by starting in your archsinner. I'm guessing that by downloading it via apt, it probably already created the X sessions file, but we'll see. ls/user share X sessions. Yep, Herbstluft is there, so we won't need to do any of that stuff. What I should do is go into .config Herbstluft and sudo apt install vim. I have to have vim installed, and then vim into auto start here, and see what the terminal is set to. Oh, it's set to xterm. Oh, it's set to make that bigger. There we go. That's better. Now where are they actually defining the term? Is this going to be so first, we're going to change this so that it is the super key, okay? And then we'll change the rest of this stuff later, but I wonder, is the... So, echo, there's not actually anything set as a terminal, so that has, that they can't be looking at a, environment variable there. So where are they defining that variable? Use your terminal. Meat and chili on your pizza? Wouldn't that make it runny? Now, they did used to have a buffet at Pizza Hut too. I remember that. There used to be a KFC near where I lived that had a buffet too. Yeah, they ain't never gonna do that again. Do you guys know who John Panette is? John Panette, he's a big guy like me, or he was a big guy. He's dead now, but he's a comedian. And one of his jokes was he goes, all my family look almost like me, and we're all really big. obviously this is paraphrasing, but he goes, we go into the buffet and the manager take one look at us, go, oh no. Oh man, he was so funny. It's a shame that he died. Salad's not food. Salad goes with the food. Okay. So where are you defining the terminal variable? I don't actually see it. You'd think it'd be at the top. You actually just search for. So it's literally not defined anywhere else. How? Then they have to be searching for some kind of environment variable. You want to? Let's just not care about it right now. Let's see what. First of all, let's make sure Xterm is actually installed. I'm assuming that's probably not the name of it. Xterm is already the newest version, so Xterm's already here. Good. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and then we'll quit out of this. The only thing we changed there was the mod key. We'll see. We will close this. We'll have to come back to it. Let's leave. Log out. Log out. We're going to set the resolution again, but that's okay. Herbstluft. TLC. Yep. And there's Herbstluftwm. Okay, so super shift enter. Super shift super enter. Okay. So there is Xterm. Yay. Probably the worst terminal. I always say that it's the worst terminal, and then there'll be one person who uses Xterm. Actually, there's more than one term. The last time I said Xterm was horrible, I had like a whole flock of people coming into the comment section saying, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about." Xterm is like ST out of the box. It doesn't do half the stuff you want it to do. At least I've never learned how to do it. Like, how do you zoom in Xterm? Is it Control? No. Super plus? Nope. Super Control Shift plus? No. Control page up? Page up? No. I'm assuming you can't actually then zoom in Xterm. I know, like URXVT, you can't zoom in either. You have to put in a some kind of plugin or something. And I do believe ST actually has zoom in by default. So render -S 1920 by 1080. Oops, no spaces. There we go. Okay. Why is there all of a sudden a bar at the bottom? Why is there a bar at the bottom? No. Why is the KD bar at the bottom? That was weird, bro. Also, why isn't the... It did not like me resetting that resolution. Ooh, boy. Okay, so what we need to do here is actually sudo apt. And I know nobody can read this. I can't read it either, so... Is somebody in the chat telling me how to zoom in Xterm, please? Yeah, because I don't think it's actually possible without doing some tweaks, which I'm not going to do. So kitty, and I'd be doing Alacrity right now, but Alacrity is not in the Ubuntu repositories for whatever freaking reason. You'd have to build it there. Let's see here. So now we have kitty. So if we cd into .config herbstluft and vim into auto start. Let's Control Shift C, open up another one. It still didn't go full screen. I wonder why it didn't. It will come out here. I'm assuming, you know, I remember this. You have to define the resolution in the config file. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. I remember that. auto start, and we're going to go down here to xterm. Spawn terminal. I think what's meaning you to do here is actually just change the probably is not going to work, but all right. I think I actually did it. Wow, I couldn't type a 3-letter password correctly. That's a new low. I just deleted the variable to begin with and just put it spawn kitty instead of having a backup. I'm pretty sure now. Yeah, now we got kitty. All right, now we can shift that. Zoom in here. Now, vim into cd.config, Herbstluftwm, and then vim into auto start. Okay. Damn, I don't have my... I do that a lot. For sure is going to happen. Now, there is a way, so we'll go here. What is the run prompt? So, I'm actually wondering... Reload, close. Change those here in a minute. Wonder if it's looking for gonna look for dmenu, because I don't have dmenu installed. Cycle through tags, layouting, mouse, focus, theme. Well, those are gonna be fun to play with later. Rules. I like the layout of this configuration. Look, I think it's just find the panel. We'll have to change the location of that probably. Oops. I did DD instead of GG. Wonder how many times I've done that. Okay. Yeah, this is just a bash script. So that's similar to BSPWM. So I didn't see anything there to actually launch dmenu. Did you guys see that? I'm guessing that it's just not there. So by default, it doesn't have a menu or an assumption that you have a menu, or at least that I can see here. So we're gonna have to add that. So let's first see if there's the mod D. Not there. Good. So we can put in something like this. HC keybind $mod -D, and then I'm gonna have to remember the syntax for dmenu, which I can dmenu run. Is that what it is? Sudo apt install dmenu. Dmenu run? No, that's not it. I haven't used dmenu in for freaking ever. Like, I always use Rofi. I should probably just sudo apt install Rofi instead. Just do that instead, and then we can, instead of doing this, we will do this. So it's Rofi -show drun -show icons actually we'll just leave I like that. I don't know what it will do without icons installed, but we'll see that. And then write this, restart mod D there's no Roshi there. I wonder if it's gonna look for spawn. Spawn. No. That's because I didn't spell spawn right. No, that still didn't work. Oh, it's... good lord, Matt. Then it's probably not going to actually need this, but we'll leave it there for now. There we go. Awesome. Why is it showing up in the whole thing and not the... The resolution thing is really messing with my brain here. Yeah, I did eventually notice that it was HD instead of HC. My fingers have not been cooperating when it comes to actually, you know, typing. Ever. So we can close that. Control-C. All right, so let's just go up here and change some things. So we want the close to be super Q. Q. This can be X, and that can stay the same. Okay, now, wonder why it will actually appear over here. Oh, I would keep remembering. Okay, so quit that. Go to 2. Open up Firefox. Now, here, documentation, tutorial. Let's see, now where is it gonna show me the resolution thing that I remember seeing? Tiling. Okay. The notion of a monitor in Herbstluftwm is treated much more abstract in general than other window managers. A monitor is just a rectangular part of your screen which shows exactly one tag on it. Initially, there is only one large monitor ranging over your entire screen. I gotta zoom in because I can't actually see that. Is that actually what it says? To go here to open this up. I want to try this and see if that's... Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. Okay, so go back here. The output shows there is only one monitor with index 0 at position yada yada, showing tag 1. In most cases, the Herbstluft monitors will match the list of physical monitors. So to add another physical monitor, you had to perform several steps. Enable it such that it shows a part of your screen. You can use Xrandr or Zenorama or any other tool you like. Register it with Herbstluftwm. Let's assume your new monitor has a resolution of this and is the right of your main screen. Then you can activate it via this. So we could just run this. Not really what I remember. There we go. Cool. Now, oh yeah, it's much better. Okay, cool. No, I didn't want to accept that it was just on 1/4 of my screen. There is a way to set that in the... Because that's not going to remember every time you restart the computer. There was a way you can enable auto-detect monitors. For more advanced examples, look at q3terminal.sh example script, which implements a drop-down terminal-like monitor where you can input any application you like. That's literally the end of that documentation, by the way. So I'm assuming what they want you to do is do man Herbst client, probably? Maybe? Let's see here. Sends a command with its optional arguments args, the running Herbstluftwm instance via xlib. Its command has an output. Is printed via Herbst client. If output does not end with a new line, then a new line is added to improve readability. see Herbstluft. Yeah, it'd be great if in these man pages you could, you know, if they made like links to other man pages, like either clickable or something like them where you could like hit GF in order to go to that. That'd be cool. But you can't, as far as I know, you can't do that. So, man, Herbstluftwm. There we go. This changes the auto start path as a version locked initially set the monitors locked setting to 1. Verbose tiling algorithm. Vertical, horizontal. The basic tiling concept is that the layout is represented by a binary tree. On startup, you'll see one big frame across the entire screen. A frame fulfills exactly one of the following conditions. Frame is split into subframes. If a new window appears, it's put in the currently focused frame. Only the leaves of the frame tree can be focused. If frame can be removed, it is then merged with the neighbor frame. Due to the layout structure of a binary tree, each frame, i.e. node in binary tree, is exactly one neighbor. Okay. Obviously not going to read all of this. What I was looking for is that... Here we go, monitors, but a monitor can be referenced in different ways. By its absolute index as listed by the list monitors command. By its relative index, A+ or minus, followed by a delta. By its relative position to the focus monitor, -L denotes the monitor to the left of the focus monitor, -R to the right of, -U above of, -D below of, respectively. By quotation marks, an empty string which represents the current monitor. By its name, which is how most window managers do it. And that's literally all they have to say about monitors. They don't say anything about how, because in, like if we go back to here, where's that here? What if we move this to 3? There we go. Yeah, that's cool. All right, that's good. Keep on. So if we go to DT's dot files for this, because he has dot files for Herbstluft, I think. There we go. .config, Herbstluft, here we go, and then auto start. All right, let me zoom in here a little bit. There was one here. He sets the terminal like that. Okay, I could have just done that. I don't know why I remember him having something here about the monitors. Rules. Herbst client set tree single. But you could. That one command that we just ran. This one here. Just copy that, go back here, and run that in there. I think that would work. So what is Herbstluft's main selling point? So there's a guy on YouTube. His name is... Oh, I can't remember what his name is. He talks about keyboards mostly now, but he used to use Linux. And Herbstluft was his window manager. And that's where I saw it for the first time. And basically what happens in Herbstluft is it allows you to define like virtual monitors. So if you have like a wide screen, like 48-inch monitor, you could set that up as actually 3 separate monitors. So each section of the screen had its own, like it acted as its own monitor. So each one had, 1 through 9 tags, 1 through 9 tag, 1 through 9 tag. And you could set those up to be any size that you wanted to. It was actually really cool. That's one thing. Also, it's, I don't know. So far, I haven't found anything that it really stands out. But I will say that it's reminding me a little bit of BSPWM in terms of its configuration. I don't care much for the default tiling. Create an empty frame as specified directions. So what does mod U stand for? See, that's right there. Everything right there that's BSPWM. That's pre-selection. Although, actually, then getting rid of it, I don't know how that works. Let the current frame explode into subframes. So mod control space. Oh, good. Are you supposed to get rid of that damn thing? And then actually quits. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Okay. Ah, TFL, welcome, bud. So I could just use HC for this one here. That I had this up here. Just change this to HC. Would that work? I'm gonna find out because I'm gonna need to get rid of this stuff anyways. I'm gonna see if it will actually remember that resolution, which it did not. Yeah, that worked. Cool. What we can actually do now is cd.config Herbstluftwm into auto start, and then we can actually, I think, if I remember right, I wonder if you have to put like an and at the end of that. I don't know. We're gonna find out here in a second. Mod R to remove the frame. Okay. Does it actually say that down here somewhere? Probably it does. I just didn't get there. Mod U, mod control space. Those are for tags. Mod period comma changes the cycles through the tags. Mod R remove, yep. Mod S floating toggle, so mod S. Mod F for full screen, mod P for pseudo tile. I don't know what that means. Mod space would the following cycles through the available layouts within a frame. Oh, cool. So those are those are the layouts that they have. I don't like how it doesn't. I'm so used to sometimes with using my mouse to focus on a window that it doesn't do it as weird to me. A lot of you have to set that in BSPWM as well. Here. Yeah, Jean or Jan or whatever his name is. Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking of. Yep, thank you for that. I don't remember why I couldn't remember his name. Manually create a container with its own layout. It definitely has some interesting functions. I used BSPWM for a while too, and the thing is that the reason why you'd want to use BSPWM, other than having a really good configuration file, is that it has that pre-selection, right? That pre-selection allows you to basically control where things are spawned. But the problem was I never used it. when you come from i3, you're used to manual tiling being done with basically a key binding. It's just a one-step thing. So once you set that, the direction you want things to go. So let me show you this. Got it. So go to, I'm in the middle of racing, and so I don't know where any of my workspaces are. Just close this. So right now I have auto tiling, so it's not really that big of a, something that I can actually show you. But if we have these two windows here, and I want the next one to automatically appear to the right, so I'd do my key binding for that. And then if I want the next one to appear also to the right, I'd do that. Now, because I have auto tiling, it's a little bit different, but when you're in i3, this is what you expect, right? With BSPWM, you have this type of layout automatically, and if you want it to spawn somewhere differently, you use pre-selection, and I found that I never used it. So, wait, how do you rice Linux? There's a ton of videos on my channel about ricing, so you should check those out. All right, so let's see, where was I? Oh, I wanted to test and see if this X render. Does anyone know if you have to put, because usually in like other things you have to put like an ampersand afterwards in order to get it to continue on after that. I don't know if you have to do that. I don't know if that would work or not. We're gonna find out. I'm very curious. Yeah, that worked. Ah, cool. Sweet. I'm getting there. Yeah, pardon me. I burped. Okay, so let's see here. So we have the standard basic movement stuff, left, right, up, down, stuff like that. HJKL, so they don't do anything stupid like i3 does. i3's default is JKAL semicolon, which has always been. It's simultaneously made sense to me because that's where your home fingers are supposed to be on the semicolon, which in and of itself is really weird. Like, why would you want your finger on the semicolon? Because nobody ever uses it. No, I swear to God, no one knows when to use a semicolon. Just as someone who edits people's work, like for a living, semicolons are the worst thing, and then no one ever knows when they actually should use one. But the point is that that's where your fingers are supposed to be, so that makes sense in i3, but they're not the Vim keys. Like, it's not the Vim keys, and everyone's so used to this Vim keys. Moving clients, so this is all basically standard. It's the splitting frames thing that I don't really understand. Like, what's the purpose of it? So, because I mean, it looks like pre-selection, but then usually in pre-selection in BSPWM, then you open up a new one or a new client or something, and it's supposed to appear down here. Oh, that's cool. You have to actually move down there with the Vim keys. So if we do another one here, mod U, and then move down one. I will say that the default theming doesn't make it real. I'm assuming that it would work better if the default background wasn't green. I wonder why they chose green as the default background other than just black. Let's go ahead and open up another. So we just did mod R to get rid of that. Okay, zoom in here a little bit. So actually, cd.config kitty. Do we have a kitty? We do have a kitty. We don't have a configuration file for kitty. So man kitty. Where's the default configuration for kitty? Specify if this option is not specified, configuration files are searched for in the following order: xdgconfig home kitty, kitty.conf.config kitty, kitty.conf. It doesn't actually say where the default configuration file is. Oh, there it is right there. And we'll copy that. A CP this here into kitty.conf. Oops. There we go. I'll do an ls here. Vim into kitty. Oops, I did it again, Matt. You and your stupid aliases. And that's not actually the kitty.conf file. Okay, so what the hell's the kitty.conf file? Why isn't that one there? Yeah, I like the default stuff for Arco too, but I wanted to look at this vanilla. I didn't want to have any outside influence on it. I'm not sure. Why is that the default kitty.conf file? Yeah, this version of Firefox is slow for not being a snap. That's really weird. Kitty default. Wow, I cannot type. I see that you can open the config file written for kitty by pressing Control-Shift-F2. I don't really want to do that. That's Macintosh. Or setting the kitty looks for a configuration file in there. You can pass the file default path to default -- config, or you can include secondary config files. Blah 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 blah. Where's the default configuration file? That's mostly useless. I know Kitty has a default configuration file. I've bitched about it before because it has like 12 folds. And nobody remembers how to unfold anything in Vim. Unless you're probably TFL. TFL, you probably know how to unfold shit in Vim. Normal people, us mere mortals don't remember how folds work in Vim. Hi, JDawg is here. How you doing, bud? Right now I'm struggling with not having Alacrity installed. I miss my YAML. That's great, man. All right. We're going to find the latest complete kitty.conf. Okay. You can download the sample kitty.conf file with all default settings and comments describing each setting by clicking here. And then it literally downloaded it instead of just showing me. Okay. CD downloads. ls. Let's see. cp kitty.conf into ~/.config kitty. Errors. Errors. So CD, probably because it didn't actually config kitty remove kitty.conf cd downloads cp kitty.conf into ~/.config. All this just to get change the freaking font. Still errors. That's the stupidest thing ever. That's the default configuration file from their website, and it's broken. Okay. I don't care at this point. God, I missed the automatic refreshing of the config but with Alacrity. Alacrity is so good. There we go. 677 could not convert string to float. 0.5 pt in line. All right, so first of all, can we just point out the fact that Kitty has at least 655 lines in their configuration file? So what was that number? 655? Obviously it was not 655. 677. There we go, right here. Comment that thing out. There we go. All right. That's much better. That was. I guess it's. I thought folding was a good idea in Vim when I first found out about it, but then it immediately passed my mind by, right? So, like, you almost immediately forget about it until you come across the kitty configuration file, which, at least in some cases, is folded automatically, so you have to look up how to unfold stuff. Anyways, now that we're here, we can go back here, and now we can close this. Control R to get rid of that. All that just to change the font size, by the way, which I could have done just from the command line, but, you know, way too easy for me. Okay, so the way that works is mod U, and then you have to then move the focus from the top section to the bottom section using the Vim keys, and then you can spawn your new stuff here. And like that. So, and then you can close this with mod R. What I would like to do is change the default layout. So how do I how I would go about doing that? So here, go back to Herbstluftwm and see if there's a place here where it will allow you to change the layout by default. I'm sure there's a way, obviously, but you're just going to have to find it. So, initially, there's one frame. Each frame has one of the following two possible types. It terms as a container for windows, i.e. it can hold 0 up to arbitrarily many windows. Launch several more terminals to see what happens. If there are multiple windows in one frame, they can be aligned below each other. To change the layout algorithm, press mod space to cycle through all available layouts. All available layouting algorithm. I'm 100% positive layouting is not a word. Algorithms for the focus frame. A frame also can be split into two subframes, which is this here, which can be aligned next to or below each other. Press mod O to split to a horizontal alignment. So that's that. Oops, shit. Damn it, Matt. Fingers just deciding to, great, awesome, what I wanted to do. Okay, now go back to here where I was. Thank you very much. Tutorial, there we go. Let's go back where I was. Where was I? Tiling right here. To navigate to a fresh frame right of the old one, press mod L. Mod U to split vertically. Intuitive navigation is this diagram here, okay? To undo splitting, you can remove a frame via mod R. To shift some windows from one frame to one of its neighbors, use the same keyboard shortcut while holding the shift key pressed. So if we do this, and then we can do that. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I admit that that's cool. So close that with mod R. Make sure we're not actually doing anything wrong there. Okay, with this you can define custom layout, which can be printed via the layout command. So you can create your own layout, which is cool. Okay. More interested in changing. After some changes, you can rewind to the original layout with the load command. Herbst client load $layout. One thing I have to say is that I'm not all that impressed with their documentation, quite honestly. It makes a lot of assumptions that you know what you're doing. Which is, I mean, okay, and it's still better than the suckless documentation. Yeah, I know you can cycle. That's what this is. That's mod space, so that will cycle through them. But what I would like it so that the default isn't automatically this one. I know some people who like the top and bottom thing. I like mine side by side. Like this. So, let's go back to here. Alright, so we got some mouse buttons, which I would never use. Focus. The keybind. So mod backspace, which is a weird, very weird key binding, because why would you bind something to backspace? That's just asking for all sorts of trouble. Mod C to cycle. And that just cycles through focus. Okay. Okay. And mod I to jump to urgent, which is cool. The syntax for the configuration files not bad. It's very readable. I still don't know I don't understand why you'd want to use a back sub. Okay, so thing. Tiling reset, floating reset, set to 1. I don't know what any of those things mean. Those are going to be colors. Frame gaps 4. Okay, and that theme active colors. Window gap. Okay, set window gap. Change this to 5. Let's see what that actually does. That gives us some gaps, which did we not have that before? Change this to 10 to make sure, see what it actually does. Yes, I guess it's a little bit bigger. Okay, frame padding. That'd make the king of padding happy. There's some padding stuff here. Some rules for stuff. Pseudo-tile on. So that, I don't know what pseudo-tile actually means. So if you can do pseudo-tile, just puts it at the beginning, but then it does that thing. I don't know why that would be useful. And I mean, because it's not a floating window. Because floating would be, I think that's full screen. Mod Shift F. What was the floating key binding? I've forgotten already. I remember Mod P. Mod S is floating a tile, which it can be moved around in the normal way with the holding down the super key. So go back to this. Yeah. All right. Current frames equals 2, cycle layout plus 1, vertical, horizontal, max, vertical grid. I wonder, is there a place like up here where it sets the layout? Did I just miss that? Oh, so so it's using this here. I think this is probably a function or something, right? And then it's just basically all the HCs are just expanding to Herbst client. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I'm learning something new. I don't see here where it's setting the default layout. I wonder. Let's do this. Let's go to Herbstluftwm. Man, and then search for layout. Basic tiling concept is that the layout is represented by a binary tree. You're getting into the tree thing. The tree thing has never made sense to me. Whatever reason it shows the clients and arranges them. The current layout algorithms are 0, 1, 2, and 3. Vertical, horizontal, max, and grid. Okay. Frame is split into subframes. If a new window appears, a frame can be removed. Is then merged with a neighbor frame. The analogy of the binary tree, when splitting it, a vertical split with the command split vertical 0.5, you'll get this. You will also split the left frame horizontally. You will get this. If you change the focus of the client to the right and remove the frame, you will still be merged with the left subtree, and you'll get this. The layout command prints the current layout of all tags. 3. So if we open up another one here, Herbst client layout vertical. Okay. It doesn't actually say how to. This is an empty string, refers to root frame, and 0, 0 refers to the first subtree of the first subtree of the root frame. I understood all those words as English, but I don't understand the context, I guess. Tags are very, very similar to workspaces, so that's basically the same as DWM. Yeah, I agree. Schmog. I can never. I don't have a special way to say your name. Uh, Gap should be including in every window manager now. I don't know why the main guy behind i3 hasn't gone through and just made gaps in i3. Like, just combine those two and get rid of the need for a fork call completely. I will say this, for the first time ever, I managed to get i3 gaps built on Debian. It's something that I'd always failed at. There was always like a dependency error or something that I was always missing. And the other day, I managed to get to work on Debian for the first time. It was really kind of cool. I was very proud of myself. All right, so I have not seen anywhere here, like, it says you can use the layout command to know what the layout is, but it doesn't say. So this is how you mod control HJKL, but those don't actually do anything. Up, down? No. See, those should resize the windows. It actually just resizes the frames. So if we go here and create a frame, this then changes the frame, but not the window. Okay. I don't see one. We're actually changing the window spacing, or the window size. Splitting frames, moving clients, focusing clients, and then the other stuff here. But so they have a way to, by default, resize the frames, but not the windows themselves. Huh. That's a little weird. So if you ever wanted something that was actually a different size, you'd have to do the pre-selection, basically BSPWM. In this case, they call them frames, and then make it the size you want, and then spawn your client. That seems a little convoluted. I'm sure there has to be a way. Tag names, keys. Mod control, split, explode. Pretty sure went through all this now. Those are for the tags. Cycle through tabs, layouting. So just the layout command doesn't actually change anything. It just lists the layout. All right. That's really weird. So there has to be. Go back here to the thing. There has. I mean, this is just going to tell us the. We'll just scroll here. So look for those commands. So let's see here. Quit, reload, version, echo, true, false. Those are weird commands. Help, list commands, list monitor, list rules, list key bindings, list clients, lock, unlock, key bind, key unbind, mouse bind, drag, mouse unbind. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Spawn, executable, WM exec executes the window manager with the args. This is useful to switch the window manager in the current running session without restarting the session. What now? If no or invalid window manager is given, the Herbstluft is window manager is restarted. What? Seriously? You can execute a another window manager from Herbstluftwm. Why though? It's cool, but why though? I'm not. That's an interesting thing. I have half a mind to install another window manager just to try that out. Chain separator and separator comments and separator commands. Command, try command, silent, focus, cycle. Cycles a selection within the current frame by delta, or changes or cycles through the clients in the focus floating layer if that is focused. Cycle all, cycle frame, cycle layout. We already have that set. Aha! There we go. And then layout. So if we open up another one here, so set underscore herps client set. Where the hell was it? Did we miss that? Damn Firefox and not being able to keep things centered. Cycle all, cycle layout, set layout. There it is. Set underscore layout, and then we want horizontal. Okay, cool. That's cool. All right, so we could copy this part here and Control-Shift-C, go back here, close this, go back up. We'll just leave this here, and then do HC, paste this, put a space in between there, write this, Control-Shift-R to restart. Yeah, see, I'm figuring stuff out on my own. Makes me happy. Cool. I'm sorry I'm not paying as much attention to the chat as I normally do. I'm very engrossed. I don't know what most of you guys are talking about. Oh yeah, where when you change the size of it, it doesn't actually stay where you were in the center. It's really, that browser thing is really good. Soon I will be a Jedi. There is no try, do or do not. I don't even know what the quote is. I know it's Yoda. I watched Star Wars a couple times. I've always been more of a Star Trek guy. It's just the way it's always been. Anyways, that is cool. What else we got here? When in doubt, okay, so the things that I've learned so far is that the documentation on their website is not very good. If you want to know anything about Herbstluftwm, look at the man page. The man page is way better. It's not necessarily the easiest to read, unless you're used to reading man pages. If you're used to this kind of syntax and this kind of language and stuff, you probably write at home. But for me, half the time I forget man pages exist. All right, so the next thing is split a line, close and remove. Close or remove. What are the differences? Okay. Closes the focused window or removes the current frame if no window is focused. If in floating mode, this acts as the close command. Okay. Close and remove. Closes the focus window and removes the current frame. Okay, so you could probably set this to a key binding if you wanted to. Okay. I understand that. Let's see here. Split a line. So splits the focus frame or the frame specified by frame index. See the section frame index into two subframes with a specified fraction between 0 and 1, which defaults to 0.5. The line is one of top, bottom, left, right, explode, auto. Okay. it gives you a lot of options for how big and the frames are. Moves the focus from current frame to the next frame, or client and directions, which is left, right, up, down. Okay, that's going to be this stuff here. Yeah, focus. See, it's that right there. Okay. Go back here. I'm missing my... I'm trying to use the Vim keys in order to scroll down in Firefox, but it doesn't work when you don't have that extension installed. Yeah, I think that's usually the way when I do remember that the man page exists, I always just search for the thing that I'm looking for. But I know a lot of people who actually read the things, like from beginning to end. Have I seen Back to the Future? Probably in high school. I think I only saw the first one, though, to be honest. I liked that Veeb web browser that I looked at the other day. That wasn't bad. If that had extension support, I'd probably use it more often. Focus edge, raised wind, win ID. Raises the specified managed or unmanaged window. Managed windows are only moved within the tagged stack as reported by the stack command. And unmanaged windows, are raised globally and are raised above all managed windows. I don't know what managed versus unmanaged means. Is that just a Herbstluftwm thing, or is that like a Linux thing that I've just never heard of? You're between managed and unmanaged. All right, Stack Overflow. Obviously not the same. This is managed and unmanaged code, so that's not the same thing. Okay. Code, not Windows. Obviously, that's not something that's common. So I don't know what that means. I understand the concept raise. I wonder if that could be something that would have to do with like scratch pads or something. I don't. Maybe it's just something that's kind of in my mind. Lowers the specified managed or unmanaged window. Analogously to the raise command, managed windows are lowered within the stack of floating windows. Unmanaged windows. I don't see section window ideas. We can open this up in a new tab and see if it defines the things. Window IDs. Several commands accept a window or reference. The syntax is as follows. An empty string or missing argument references the currently focused window. Urgent represents a window that is urgent. 0 hex ID, where hex ID is some hexadecimal references the window. Hexadecimal X11 window ID hex ID. That's going to be something like, X prop like this. One of these numbers. Yeah. Who knows what number it's going to be referencing, though. Also, I love the class for Firefox. Still says Navigator. The throwback to Netscape. Longest minimized. Latest minimized. DCID is some decimal references the window with a decimal X11 window IC ID. Okay. I don't know. It's still not going to talk about managed or unmanaged windows, and I'm very curious as to what that means. The thing about man pages that I don't like the most is that sometimes, and you find this with like, what was the, oh, Sway does this a lot. Sway has like 6 man pages, right? And if you just man Sway, I think it's just a really short man page. There's not much into the regular man page, and it says at the very bottom, it says see also these other man pages. And if you're like me, you skip over the stuff at the bottom because you don't expect it to be important. Because, you know, hello, dumbass. So I never saw those things. So when I made my Sway Window Manager video, I was like, the documentation for Sway is horrendous. It's not any good at all. And somebody in the comments, like, if you just read a little bit further, you would have saw that there are 7 other man pages there that you could have actually seen. Because for Sway, there's a man page for Sway-MSG. There's one for Sway Bar. There's, you know, all these different man pages. I don't like... I mean, I understand why you would want them to be all split up, because it makes it more tidy, but sometimes it just makes me confused as to why the first man page exists at all. It basically just points at the other man pages. I think it's for bar notifications. Unmanaged Windows thing, those are unmanaged. I don't think I'm ready to actually use Sway again or Wayland at all, quite honestly. Or at least I'm not ready to use Wayland in a Window Manager. Wayland seems to work fine in like Ubuntu or Fedora for me, but using it in a Window Manager, at least so far, has been a non-starter. All right. Where was I? Well, am I still in this? This is where I was. We can get rid of this. We're not going to find out what those actually mean. Jump to WinID, bring WinID, resize direction. Oh, that's going to be... Changes the size of the focused frame. Just the frame, though. Why isn't there a way to change the client? It's just the frame. Behaves as specified at the focused command. If a focused window... If a floating window is focused, it grows towards the next edge. So, like this, that doesn't actually resize it because it's not considered a frame. It's considered a client. That's weird. A shift edge shifts the focus window to the edge of the tag in a specified direction. The directions have as specified at the focus command, and -I and -E behave as specified at the focused _edge command. Okay, shift direction, shift to monitor. So this is going to move to a different monitor. So I'm glad that exists. Because some, like LeftWM, at least when I first started using LeftWM, it was like really brand new. They didn't have a shift to monitor type thing where you can move things between monitors. You had to move it to, it was convoluted. Removes focus frame and merges its windows in the close neighbor frame. So wait a minute, if you have another frame like this, and you open up something else, and then you get rid of that frame, it does actually, you can't actually, so hold on a second. Here are a couple frames. Open up another, oops, that's not, go down here, open up another thing, go down here and open up another thing. So open up htop here. Htop is not installed, so just open up top. And then here we'll run an ls command. And then if we close this, close the frame, not the window. So with mod R, that actually moves that client into the other frame. And if we go back down here to this frame here and close that frame, all these are now in the same frame. That's really kind of cool. That's not something you can do with BSPWM. With BSPWM, it doesn't, once you've put something in the pre-selection, the pre-selection is gone. It's just a client then. It's no longer a thing. Tyler's here, just popping in. playing board games. We'll have fun, kick their butt, be very competitive, and tackle your sister. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so that's actually really cool. I really like that that does that. It's the frame concept intrigues me quite a lot, actually, because you could use it for, you know, kind of like segmenting your workflow. So like if you could have like, especially if you have like a big monitor, like a super big monitor, you could use that. Although they also have that where you, that ability to make like virtual monitors, which actually I haven't seen. Rotates the layout to the focus tag counterclockwise by 90 degrees. This only manipulates the alignment of frames, not the content of them. Okay, mirrors the layout and the focus tag vertically, horizontal, or both. Default is horizontal. Set name value, get name, toggle name, cycle value, cycle monitor. Okay, that just changed back and forth to the different monitor. Focus monitor puts focus on the specified monitor. See monitor section. I think I'm gonna open up that tab and we'll go look at that next. Add tag, use tag, creates a new empty tag named tag. I wonder if there's like a default, like a default maximum of tags that you can have. Use index switches the focus monitor to the tag with a specified index. If index starts with plus or minus, then index is treated relative to the current tag. If dash skip visible is passed and index is relative, then tags that are relative already visible on the monitor are skipped. This cycles backwards through the tags. So this implies, and I may be wrong about this, that you could have invisible tags. And in that case, hello scratch pads. Rename old tag, new tags. It looks like you can actually create like dynamically create tags. That's cool. Let's see here. Lock tag, unlock tag. There's a ton. This man page is humongous. We're not even halfway through yet. And we skipped like the first quarter of it. We're just looking through commands now. Disjoin recs. This takes a list of rectangles and splits them into smaller pieces until all rectangles are disjoined. What? The result rectangles are printed line by line. This command does not modify the current list of monitors. What would that be used for? This can be useful in combination with set monitors command. In the above example, 2 monitors are split into 5 monitors, which graphically means... That's weird, but I don't think I really understand that. Detect monitors, which we used earlier. Add monitor, adds a monitor on the specified rectangle and displays tag on it. This is all that virtual monitor stuff that I was talking about. It's kind of, it's cool, but it looks kind of very complicated. I wonder if they have an example section. But with all these commands, there's no way they have an example for all this shit. There's no way. List padding lists the padding of a specified monitor or the currently focused monitor if no monitor is given. Layout, which we talked about earlier. Dump prints the name and information of the layout command, but in a machine readable format. Okay, so that you could probably use this in a script of some kind if you needed to. Probably same thing with that. A lot of this stuff could be scriptable. That's one of the things about the external commands that a lot of these window managers have, like i3 message, the BSPC, Herbst client probably. You could use that in scripts if you wanted to do stuff. Vague stuff that's just kind of in the back of my mind. This should be a new series at the Linuxcast Reads Man Pages. I don't have the sexy British accent that is required for making reading dull stuff interesting. And I'm not actually good at reading stuff without stuttering, so. But I'm more actually just going through this stuff because I'm, learning. Complete shell position, emit hook, tag status. All right, well, you know what? This goes on for quite we're not even, holy shit. And it finally gets to rules here. Set the value, so you can set environment variables inside of the auto start configuration file. I wonder why you'd want it. Oh, of course you can. That's so stupid. Of course you can, Matt. Stop being a douchebag. From a minute I was thinking something different. Get a true. All right. Anyways, let's go back here. Let's sudo apt install. That's not the right password, Matt. Not even close. All right, there we go. All right, now we'll find ourselves a wallpaper. So, forest wallpaper. I'm just gonna go here and do something a little bit different for today. Why not? The pros of man pages are always very technical for me. And they always make assumptions that you have knowledge that you probably don't have. So it's not as good as regular documentations. That's not 1920 by 1080. Thank you very much. I'm just going to click on that then. That's not helpful. Still just the smallest one. That's an ad, by the way, right there. There you go. All right, now. There we go. I don't care for the actual frame color, but we probably can change that. So let's go down here to. It wouldn't be a Linuxcast stream if we didn't rice something. So we gotta do some ricing. Why not? I don't have anything else to do. Layouting. Okay, so here we come, right here. So theme. Frame border active color. So let's open up the Firefox thing here and search for ever. What's that? That's the name of the series. RTFM could be the name of the series of me just reading man pages, and we call it Read the Fucking Manual. That's great. They should have man page audiobooks. That's exactly what they should have. That's great. All right. There's a rice called Ever Forest or something. Color scheme. Is that what that's called? If that's actually what that's called, I'm very impressed. Yeah, that's what that's called. Cool. I remembered that like off the top of my head. I've never used this before, and there's the reason why it doesn't have the color codes. So that's fucking useless. For everyone who ever creates a color scheme, always put the color codes that you're going to use on your GitHub page, because that way people can create the other stuff without having to extract them from the colors file in your Vim thing here, which, by the way, is completely, it's completely pointless trying to get colors out of this thing, because Vim does colors like 12 different ways. You can use the names, you can use hex colors, you can use the 256 codes, you can use several other different ways of defining colors. So it's trying to get a color out of this file here is just not easy. All right, so we won't be able to use that. Is in the auto loads folder. It's still not, that's probably not the thing you're talking about then. Everforce.vim. But even then, oh, there they are. It's not as cool as actually having them listed out so you can actually see what the colors actually are, but it would work. Let's it's just black. I thought it was gonna be this is right here's why you have 323C41. Three A 45 4A. Looking for the green color. I was looking for 445 055. Okay, useless. 4C. This is why you have them labeled out, so you don't have to have people go through and check them. 555 B. Oops, B. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, reading the best man page. You can use my spawn colors and get a full spawn background. I don't know what that is. Would anyone care for a live stream of me going through the bash man page? TFL, you do a live stream of anything, I will watch it. That's pretty much true of all of your stuff. I don't understand half the shit you do. I still watch every video you make. Alright, well it is 9:30. I was gonna keep racing this thing, but honestly, without knowing what color scheme I was gonna use. One thing before I go, I'm gonna go look at the panel thing. I wanna look at the panel script. Can't find the file in path. cd/etc xdg Herbstluft here vim panel.sh. So this right here is the panel. Okay, so it is also a bash script. So I would just use polybar. I don't want to have to manage. It'd be just so much easier to use polybar. Look at the stuff this goes. This is xset root. Is that xset root? That's a case statement. I thought that was gonna be xset root. That's because that's how you do it in DWM is with xset root. That looked familiar. Yeah, that bar script. Ugh. No, thank you very much. If I were to write this, it would be polybar. Wonder if you can. Let's go back to this. If we and the panel goes away, and then you could just launch polybar just like normal. That's exactly what I would do. What do you use in a bar? You want to see my current bar, like the one that I actually use? This is my bar right now. So I have the work. Remember, this is a work in progress. I'm in the middle of a rice. So I have the i3 module here, X window here, a music module that just basically outputs the current song, weather, current amount of memory used, current CPU usage, and time. That's my date, or my bar. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like bars. Here we go. Just get rid of this. There you go. TFL, no bar. Makes you happy. You can go to a different workspace and it just is no bar whatsoever. I'm also completely lost now. I have no clue what workspace I'm on. Yeah, Breaking Benjamin is a fantastic band. Although I will have to say that the most recent album, I didn't care for it nearly as much as the old stuff. And no wallpaper. Yeah, but I have to have it back. Like, it has to come back. I did set that key binding the other day. Did you guys know that polybar has a command thing just like i3? So you can do polybar msg toggle like this, and it will tell you there's apparently something else that there has to go on after that. cd.config polybar. That's not the right one. i3 sxhkd. Let's see this one right here. So polybar. Oh, it's this one right here. So it's like this. Polybar dash message and then cmd toggle like that. That's the command to get rid of polybar, and you run it again, it comes back. But there's man polybar msg. Close this. There's a few stuff you can do. This is another one of those man pages that doesn't really tell you half the stuff that it can probably do. But I had no clue that it existed, honestly. It's really cool. Like I said, I wish there was more to this man page, because there has to be more that this thing can do, but it's just there's no commands here. The bar list look is your jam, yeah. If TFL ever started one of his videos and he had a different wallpaper, he'd freak everyone out. Like it would be so weird. Rat poison, because I don't like the bars on the mouse. I've never tried rat poison. I've been told that I need to, but I haven't yet. If it's, I hear it's pretty complicated, to be honest, but I don't know, because I've never tried it. Okay, I think I'm gonna be ending this stream here now, guys. I'm pretty much done here. Overall thoughts on BSP, or not BSPWM, Herbstluft. I really like the frames idea. Like, I like the frames idea. I would, if I play around with this on hardware, I'm gonna mess around with the virtual monitors thing, even though it sounds really complicated. But I want to try that out because that sounds pretty cool. It's not gonna be as useful for me as it would be if I had like a huge monitor, like a huge like 48-inch widescreen. I have two 27 inches, so splitting those in half doesn't really make a lot of sense into separate monitors. But separate frames could be kind of cool. It's definitely something I'd want to play around with a little bit more. And I'd never use the built-in bar. One look at that bar script just scared me the opposite way. So I definitely use polybar if I was going to do that. So yeah, that's I think that's going to be it for me tonight, guys. So thanks for watching. Before I go, I should take a moment to thank my current patrons. You can support me on Patreon at patreon.com/LinuxCast. Thanks to Robert, Syd, Devon, Patrick, Fred, Kramer, Maeglin, Jackson, Tool, Steve A, CyberGuyLinux, Garrick, Samuel, KB, TGB, Keith, Mitchel, JDawg, carnondated, Jeremy, Shaun, Odin, Marnie, Andy, Ross, Eduardo, archsinner, Marek, Camp, Josh, Willie, Peter A, Crucible, Dark, Benedict, Primus, and PM. I really do appreciate everybody who tuned in to watch this. It was a very fun time. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about next week. I will do a stream again next Sunday. If you have suggestions for something that you'd like to see, you can leave those in the comments of this video if you want to. It probably won't be ricing again because I just did a ricing video. Maybe I'll take a look at another distro or something. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for everyone for watching. I'll see you.